Hello my dear friends, we are dealing with different types of soil that is found in India, and we saw soil is so precious and it is so essential, and it takes millions of years to form a few centimeters of soil, and so we need to take utmost care of this soil. That is what we have been saying for the past few days. And today we will come to know about in detail how soil erosion takes place, or which are the ways in which soil is getting eroded, and what are the measures that we can do in order to conserve this soil. That is what we are going to see today. You can follow in your textbook, page number 11. So, soil erosion and conservation. So, the denudation of soil cover and subsequent washing down is described as soil erosion. You can underline in your textbook what is soil erosion. So, the denudation of the soil cover. Denudation means removing. So, on top of the soil there is a cover, cover of grass, cover of root, tree roots, and so on. So that cover is removed means soil becomes loose, soil becomes free, and it will be washed down by water or by wind and so on. That is called soil erosion. Understood what is soil erosion? Once the cover of the soil is removed, the top cover of the soil is removed, the mud becomes loose and it will be washed down, maybe by water, rainwater or river water or wind and so on. So whatever may be the agent, whether it is water or air, the mud is washed away, washed down from top to bottom or from one place to another. That is called soil erosion. And the soil formation, the process of soil formation and erosion go on simultaneously, and generally there is a balance between the two. So we said the soil is being formed very slow. It takes the rock has to be pounded and it has to turn out to be soil. So it will take hundreds of years, millions of years. So that process of soil formation is going on, and the process of soil erosion also is going on. So both, one way, on the one side we are losing the soil due to erosion, another side we are getting new soil due to this soil formation process. So there is some kind of balancing is there. When we get some soil, we are losing some soil. So that balance is kept. But due to human intervention, that balance is not kept up. So when people start cutting down the trees, or when people start digging the soil, especially in a slopy place, and loosening the soil, or cut the grass, or overgrazing by the animals, so all these are human activities. So when these human activities take place, the soil erosion becomes faster. So that balance is lost. So the natural way of losing the soil is very slow process. Just as the new soil is formed slowly, the soil erosion also takes place slowly. But in this present time, because of the human intervention, because of too many human activities like cutting down the trees, overgrazing by the animals, by cutting the land, or by plowing, and so the mud becomes loose and it is washed away, and so the soil erosion is taking place much faster than soil formation. That is what is happening these present days. So we need to take care that our human activities, whether it is digging, or whether it is deforestation, or whether it is overgrazing by the animals, or maybe activities like construction construction of road, construction of buildings, or maybe mining. When we dig out the minerals from under the earth, all that mud becomes loose. So all these activities can cause the soil erosion. And apart from that, the natural forces like wind, when there is a strong wind, if the soil is loose, it can be carried away. Or by glaciers, when the glacier starts melting, that water will start flowing and all that area can be eroded. Then the running water cuts through clay soil. So let us see now different types of soil erosions are there. So if the soil is clay, soft type, and the water is running through that clay soil, then what happens? It makes deep channels of gullies. Then that place will be going down deep because mud is very soft, it is clay type, and so water can easily carry it away. So that part will become deeper and deeper. If that is the way of soil erosion taking place, then that is called gullies. In your textbook also we can see here. So very deep. All these are places water is flowing, and so that has become very deep. That is called gullies. So if water is flowing through a clay area, then this kind of water erosion will take place. If it is a rock, then it will not go down so much. But if it is a soft soil like clay, then that will carry away all the soil, and there will be a deep cut will be there in the middle of the soil, and that is called gully. So underline that. What is gullies? The deep channels, they are called gullies. Then the land becomes unfit for cultivation and is known as bad land. So where this soil erosion taking place, especially through the clay area and creating deep gullies, that land become unfit for cultivation, and that land will be called bad land. So it will not be used for cultivation. Then the Chambal basin. So the Chambal basin, Chambal river basin, such lands are called ravines. So the Chambal basin, the soil is very soft, clay soil, and this kind of soil erosion takes place, and they called by another name, ravines. Ravines also means gully, deep cut. Then sometimes water flows as a sheet over large areas down the slope. So now we said the water is flowing in a line and creating gullies, and sometimes water is flowing in a sheet, in a long spread area is washed through the water, not just going in one line, but the whole area is washed, just like a sheet, a very long sheet is just flowing. So what happens? All that area the soil will be washed away. In the case of gully, it is going in a narrow line, only the deep from the, it is going deep down and soil is washed away in that area only. But some places, what if the plain area means water will be just flowing through all that area, covering all that area, and in that case the topsoil of all that area will be washed away. That will be a great danger to the farmland, and that is called sheet erosion. So if it is spread through like a sheet and flowing occupying a large area, then it is called sheet erosion. Previous one was called gullies erosion, and this one is called sheet erosion. So very easy to remember. The water is flowing like a sheet covering large areas, then it is called the sheet erosion. Then wind blows loose soil off or slope land, known as wind erosion. So another agent of wind erosion is wind. So in the area where there is a strong wind, and that area if the mud is very loose, that means there are no trees, no bushes, no hedges, the soil is free and it becomes loose, and the wind will blow very hard, and the mud will be washed away or carried away to another place. That is called wind erosion. So if it is soil erosion is taking place due to wind, then it will be called wind erosion. So easy to remember. The agent is wind. Soil erosion is caused by wind, then it is wind erosion. Then soil erosion is also caused due to defective methods of farming. So very often, as we said in the beginning, the soil erosion is taking place due to human activities. So some people, they do not know how to do farming. They don't follow proper methods of farming, and therefore what happens? The soil erosion takes place in a much faster way and a lot of soil is lost. So for example, plowing in the wrong way. So we are supposed to plow in along the contour line. For example, it is a hilly slopy area. So it is top, it is down. It is a slopy area. Then this is the boundary line. So when we plow, we must plow this way. No? So we must plow this way so that the flow of water will be low. So when we plow, that line will be there. Channel, like a small drain line channel will be there. So it will be like this, means water cannot flow. Suppose if you are plowing this way, then when we plow, these lines will be there and the water will be flowing very fast through these lines. So we must always plow in a not up and down, not this way, but from side to side, so that the flow of water will be blocked. That is the purpose. So many people, they are unaware about this kind of things, how to manage their farmland. So because of their wrong methods of cultivation, they lose their land, they lose their soil, and they become poorer and poorer. So when we are cultivating in a slopy land, the ploughing should be done from corner to corner, or it is said along the contour line. Contour means boundary. So along the boundary line we must plough. That will reduce the speed of the water and make the water stagnant there, and it will sink down into the earth and make the earth wet more. So that will be more useful for the farmers. Then another thing is, ploughing along the contour lines can decelerate the flow of water down the slope. So it will reduce the speed of the water to flow down slowly. Then steps can be cut out of the slopes, making terraces. So another way of reducing the speed of water in a slopy land is make step. So like this. So we can cultivate here, it becomes plain land. Then we cut and make plain land here. Then we cut and make plain land here. So instead of allowing the slopy field, cut and make like a step. That is called terrace farming. So if you make this terrace, if you create this terrace, then it becomes easy for the farmer, because the landslide, so the soil erosion will not take place and he will be able to cultivate properly. So always terrace cultivation is better. So you have to slopy land, you have to cut down and make steps like this, and you will be able to cultivate there, and the flow of water will be slow there. Then Western and Central Himalayas have well developed terrace farming. So people who are living in the part of Himalayan mountain, like western part and the central part of Himalaya, they have made this kind of terraces. Instead of because Himalayan mountain is slope like this, and if you cultivate there, all the soil will be washed away. So they have made the terrace and they are cultivating there. Then large fields can be divided into strips. So if the field is very large, very big, then what to do? Divide them into small field. That will reduce the speed of the wind. Otherwise, the wind will carry away the soil from the large fields. Then strips of grass are left to grow between the crops. Another thing is when the crops are planted far away, then in between there may be lot of spaces will be there. So allow grass to grow there so that the land that is between two plants that will remain firm. For example, we are planting, let's say, fruit trees. We are planting orange trees. We cannot plant very near, then it will not produce fruit. So it should be planted with a certain distance so that it will get a lot of sunlight and other nutrients. So between two trees, between two orange trees, we are planting in a line. Then between these trees there will be a lot of free space will be there. So don't leave it like that free. Then the wind can come or the rain can come and carry away the soil, especially if it is a slopy land. So allow grass to grow in between these trees. So don't think that grass is a disturbance. So if you allow that grass to grow, then it will hold on to the soil and protect the soil with the wind, from the wind and from the water. It will be protected. So even that grass become a source of conservation of soil, protection of soil. And when that grass is big, we can cut and give to the animals, cows and other things. That way it will be helpful for us, for those who are running animal farm as well. Then another thing is, so allowing this grass to grow, that is called strip farming. So create the farmland, large farmland into small strips, small areas, and between plant trees, and that kind of planting, that method of planting is called strip farming. So some you can underline what is strip farming. Sometimes they will ask what is strip farming. So large fields of farming is divided into small strips of land, and in between the trees grass is allowed to grow, and that is called strip farming. And what is the advantage of this strip farming? It is able to slow down the speed of the wind because of the grass is grown, the trees are grown, and so on. So planting lines of trees to create shelter is also works in a similar way. So another thing that we can do is we can plant trees. Especially in one line we plant some trees, and after some distance again we plant another line of trees. So these are not small trees but big trees we plant, so that when the wind comes, the trees will block the wind and reduce the speed of the wind, so it will not be able to carry the soil away. So planting the trees in line, that is also important, and that is called shelter belt. Planting trees in line, in one line, then afterwards another line, that is called shelter belt. That is also meant for protecting the soil. Then these shelter belts have contributed significantly to the stabilization of sand dunes and in stabilizing the desert in western India. So this way of planting trees, that is practiced in the desert region, especially in the western region of India, near Rajasthan and so on, where there is desert. So people try to plant trees there, because in the desert it is a sandy soil, a lot of loose soil is there, and the wind comes, nothing is to block the wind. It will simply carry away all the loose mud. So people are planting trees in line so that it will block the wind and reduce the speed of the wind, and the soil will be safe. So these are some of the methods that we need to follow when we are doing farm work. So we may not be doing very large area of farming, but even maybe in our surrounding or around the house we may be making a small garden and planting some things. So if you are not knowing all these things, then you will be going on digging and you will be loosening the mud, you will be removing the grass, and the big rain will come, all the mud will be washed away. Again you will dig and it will be washed away, and at the end you lose all this fertile soil, and you will be struggling with this new soil that is underneath, which is not fertile at all, which will not be able to give you the desired fruits of your from the farm. So we need to follow these methods, then we will certainly become an expert to protect the land, to protect the soil, and that is the need of the hour. If we may think, oh, if my place is not so important, so many others are also doing. So if each one is thinking that way, then we can't do anything to protect the soil. But if I take the decision that I am going to protect the soil that I am using, then every other person also think that way, then the soil conservation takes place. The soil is protected because it is so precious and we cannot just afford to lose it, because almost half of the population of India is surviving on the farming, and so if the soil is lost, then how are they going to survive? How are we going to get the food that is needed for our entire population? So it is very important for us to know. Then state of India's environment. Let us see what is the situation in India's environment. So the village of Sukkumachri and the district of Java have shown that it is possible to reverse land degradation. So in one village, the area near Java, they have shown that tree density in Sukkumachri increased from 13% hectare in 1976 to 1272 per hectare in 1992. So people of this Java district, they have in 1962 1 hectare there were only 13 trees, and so all the people came together. They decided that we will protect the land, and therefore they started planting more trees. And now if you go there, you will find 1 hectare will have 1272 trees. Earlier only just 13 trees were there. It is increased now to 1272. So that people were determined and they decided that we will protect the soil. They did all these things because they understood the value of the soil. Suppose if they had not understood the value of the soil, then they would have just left it and the entire soil would have lost. But now they have taken care and they have protected and they have shown an example to other people as well. So if everybody is following these people's example, then certainly our country is going to be protected, our soil is going to be protected, our environment is going to be protected. Then regeneration of the environment leads to economic well-being. So if you improve our atmosphere or environment, then it is going to help us to become richer economically, and as a result of greater resource availability, improved agriculture and animal care. So when we protect the soil from soil erosion by planting trees, by making terrace cultivation and so on, then we will improve financially. How? Because our agriculture production will increase and we can grow animals, and so from animals also we get profit and so on. So that is how we can improve economically. Then average annual income of a household in Sukkumachri ranged from 10,000 to 15,000 between 1979. So the people there in that Sukkumachri village, their income increased from 10,000 to 15,000. Then people's management is essential for ecological restoration. So government alone is not enough to make a rule, but people's cooperation should be there. People should be coming forward to manage the situation. Otherwise government will make a rule there and they will sit there, officers will sit there and they will not become successful. But if people come forward to protect their area, then it is going to be more successful. So with the people being made the decision makers by the Madhya Pradesh government, 2.9 million hectares or about 1% of India's land area are being greened across the state through watershed management. So these people, the government together with the people's support, they have started this conservation of the soil. So they have made plant more trees and made the forest area larger. So they have planted a lot of areas, that is 2.9 hectare millions, 9 million hectares have been added to the forest land. So they planted so many more places that was remaining vacant or waste, and they planted more trees and made it part of the forestry. So we have more trees there. So other people also can follow this same example, and in our country the forest area will be increasing, and certainly it is going to make our environment a richer one, a more pure one. So it is a exhortation to everyone that we try our level best. As children, we can plant trees, or we can give information to our elders who are ignorant, and so small things we can do, and the effect will be so great. So I wish you all the best for joining this program of protecting the environment by planting trees and so on. So you will really experience a difference if you join in this organization or in this movement, or your friends join together, make a decision, make a movement to plant more trees and protect the soil and so on. That will be a great initiative, a great inspiration for people who are around you as well. So we have come to the end of this lesson, and we shall wind up with the filling up or choosing the answers that are given in the multiple choice questions. So first one is, which one of the following type of resource is iron ore? So the answer is non-renewable. Iron ore is a non-renewable resource. Then under which, second one, under which of the following type of resources can tidal energy be put? So tidal energy can be what kind of resource? It is replenishable. It can be replenished or renewed again. Then number 3, which one of the following is the main cause of land degradation in Punjab? So Punjab land is getting degraded, and the main reason is over irrigation. The answer is over irrigation. Number 4, in which one of the following states is terrace cultivation practiced? So in which state terrace cultivation is practiced? The answer is Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand state is practicing terrace cultivation. Then number 5, in which of the following states is black soil found? In which state black soil is found? The answer is Gujarat. So the state of Gujarat has got black soil found. So that is the end of this lesson, and I will be giving you the rest of the notes as well. So study well, get ready for the examination that is coming closer, and so do well and all the best. So we'll meet you again in the next day with another chapter. Until then, bye.